Hi, I'm Andrew Miller, and welcome to Operational Excellence. Putting together a preferred supplier program can be a great way for you to shorten the decision-making process for many goods and services you buy. A preferred supplier program is where you pre-qualify a small number of suppliers in a few particular areas. And when work is needed in those areas, you simply choose from those qualified suppliers on your list. It shortens the buying cycle and provides an assurance that you will be working with a supplier that has already been screened and is qualified to do the work. Think of building maintenance. You need plumbers, painters, electricians, contractors, and you never know when a pipe is going to burst or some other repair is required. By having pre-qualified suppliers, you don't need to go through a complicated decision-making process. You simply bring in one of the companies that were pre-qualified. Preferred supplier programs are ideal for situations where there are ongoing needs. Those needs are often different, and there are short timelines for resolution. To run a preferred supplier program successfully, you need to do these 4 things. Number 1, put a great deal of effort into the initial planning. Too many organizations ignore the initial planning necessary for a preferred supplier program to be successful. Deciding on the scope of goods or services required, the evaluation criteria to be used for deciding between suppliers, how work will be allocated once the preferred suppliers are selected, and how performance will be measured are only a few things you need to consider before launching the program. Number 2, have very clear entry and exit points. When you develop the initial program, be clear on the length of the proposed relationship and the conditions for adding new suppliers and removing underperforming ones. Do you want to have a supplier locked in for 1 year, 2 years? How often can new companies apply? Is it annually, semi-annually? This gives you the flexibility to ensure that you are always working with high-quality providers. Number 3, provide clarity on the scope of goods or services required. It's important to plan in advance the types of goods or services you require. Do you want a company that can provide a whole menu of different goods or services? Or would you prefer to choose specialists in specific areas? This will have an impact on how you run your program. And finally, number 4, determine specific categories and the desired number of suppliers for each. Identify which categories should have preferred supplier programs and how many suppliers you will need for each category. Sometimes one supplier will be sufficient, but there are other times when you may need to select 2 or more suppliers to ensure your demands can be met. I recently worked with a golf course management company where we implemented a preferred supplier program. Every year, the company would buy the same products and services: grass seed, gravel, sand, but they were always buying from different suppliers. Some suppliers would perform well and others wouldn't. So we implemented a program where each year, in the early spring, all companies interested in doing business with my client would submit an application for the preferred supplier program. My client would then select the 2 best companies in each area, and those companies were considered the preferred suppliers for the year, thus getting the lion's share of my client's business in that area. This guaranteed there would be no supply shortages and also helped my client strengthen relationships and achieve better overall service and pricing. How much of an impact would a well-run preferred supplier program have on your business? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out the other episodes in this series.